Country star Jennifer Nettles plays late matriarch Amy Lee Gemstone on HBO's The Righteous Gemstones. I'm Riley Chow of Gold Derby. How much of a crossover is there between your fan base from Sugarland and that of The Righteous Gemstones?
I mean, I couldn't say specifically, Riley. I can definitely say that obviously Danny McBride, I call him the godfather of Southern storytelling in TV and film. So I would definitely say that there could be a crossover there, just with the fact that part of this is being told as a Southern storyteller. So I'm sure there is some overlap, though I couldn't speak directly to the exact demographics.
And how did you get this part?
Just like everybody else, I got a call and I spoke with David Gordon Green. I obviously I read the pilot, and I learned about Amy Lee, and we had a conversation, and yeah, it felt good, it felt right, and I love, first of all, I love Danny. I think he's a fantastic voice and a fantastic writer. So when I read Amy Lee's part, I thought it was perfect. And that was before even learning who the cast was. And then when I learned the rest of the cast, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So yeah.
Now, the show was actually supposed to only have 8 episodes in its first season, and then they added your whole flashback episode right in the middle. But I'm
Yeah.
wondering, when you signed on, was that already a part of the story, that you'd have this entire episode to yourself, kind of?
Yes, by that point, yes, because I think they were realizing that they wanted to add in a little bit of diversity, that they sort of wanted to veer off from the direct storyline, and offer just a little bit of backstory of sort of how this family came to be. Because in addition to this being obviously a story of it has commentary on religion, it has commentary on hypocrisy, it has so much. It's also a story of family. That's the biggest context. And even though most all of them are intolerable and deplorable people in many ways, Amy Lee was their rock, and is definitely, I think, the most sympathetic in some ways characters of the whole family. So I think they wanted to offer a little bit of the family backstory to sort of know, like, okay, what was Eli, what was John's character, sort of how he came to be in patriarch world with them on his own, and what their connection was to their mother. And then, I mean, once you throw in the whole storyline of the dynamic between Walton, Baby Billy, and Amy Lee, it's just at that point, it's a free for all. So much fun.
Is that easy to say, Baby Billy?
Baby Billy, yes. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Baby Billy, yeah. Uncle Baby Billy, who he's also obviously called by the kids in that episode. That doesn't roll off the tongue as easily, Uncle Baby Billy. But yeah, what a fun character, and what a fantastic beast of an actor he is.
Yeah, tell me more about that. What's it like working with Walton Goggins?
Fantastic. I tell you what, Riley, I learned more from my scene work with him than I have in any of the training, in any of the workshops, in any of the classes, in any of the productions that I've been a part of prior to this. He is so fantastic and has such a wonderful rapport and history with Danny and with that whole crew, that they allow him the creative freedoms of improvisation. So when he starts going, you are best served to start going with him. And for me, that was my first experience, in terms of on TV and film, with any sort of improvisation in that way. And he is fantastic at it. And it was so much fun, so much fun. He really brings it to life.
And your other big scene partner is John Goodman.
Yes.
Did you ever think that you'd be married to John Goodman?
Never in a million years. But you know what? I mean, obviously, like I said, I told you earlier, I loved the part even before I knew the cast. And then when I heard the cast, I was really blown away. Again, to get to work alongside this caliber of talent is so enriching and so valuable, and just plain fun.
Do you know how Amy Lee died, or do you at least have your own theories about the
No,
specifics?
no, I don't know, but I would love to know, and I hope that they're going to make it a part of the storyline at some point. No, and I haven't made my own for the character, like, you know, predictions on what that is, because I can imagine they're going to come up with something pretty amazing. So I'm gonna let that wait and see what the writers come up with. They always come up with something wild.
Now, when she dies, there's that bee that's swarming around, and the writers have said that they've left that open to interpretation. So, what do you think that bee symbolizes?
Oh my. I mean, look, it could be a number of things. It could be her spirit. It could be indicative sort of the bond of the family at that point. It could be indicative of a lot of things. I don't know, but I do know this as an actor. I have joked and said that that was some of the hardest acting that I have ever done, to lie there and try not to absolutely, burst out in explosive laughter with all of the shenanigans that were happening. And I remember the first take that we did, when everybody was really, everybody was in and going for it. And I'm lying there, of course, supposed to be dead. And at the end, the shot comes in the camera, the camera comes in and comes closer on my face. And you can totally you don't see it there because obviously we did another take. But for the first take, it was just like, I was absolutely laughing, and when we went back and reviewed it in the playback, we were all just cracking up because they're just so much fun to work with. And even in that moment, like I said, hardest acting job I've ever done was right there, keeping a straight face.
What about before that? What was the hardest part, or what did you spend the most time on for this role?
For this specific role,
Yes.
All of it feels, Amy Lee is pretty natural to me. Once I tapped into really my Southern Baptist roots, and some of the real life characters that I grew up with within that tradition. Excuse me. Once I tapped into that, she was pretty accessible. And I think, like I said, the work with Walton in terms of the improv, that at first was intimidating. That's not necessarily something I worked on, but more something that I surrendered to. And once I did, it was really, really joyous. So I don't know that I would say what was necessarily the most challenging part of her, because she came pretty naturally.
And how is she described, like on the page, like her personality, I guess?
Warm, for the most part. I mean, she is this warm matriarch that really is the heart, is how she is described. That really is the heart of the family.
Yeah, they're a little less horrible back when she's alive.
Yeah, they're a little less horrible. A little.
Now, you sang this big song in your episode called Misbehavin',
Yes.
which has been quite a hit. And what's your take on that song, I guess, since you would know kind of better than anyone? Like, would that be a big hit?
I mean, it's definitely an earworm for sure. Like, from a music perspective, you mean? Like, what's
Hmm.
my musical opinion of it? It is an absolute earworm. Melodically, it is an earworm and gets in your head. And then, it just the very cheeky nature of it. I think it's this whole show and this whole role for me is so much fun. And that song is another example of that. Just indulgent, at not over the top, but indulgent fun in who these characters were, and getting to see them too, to understand sort of that halfway cringe worthy moment, because they were both child stars, so then to see them embodying this role to come on again and perform this song again that they've been known for since they were super small, is sort of that cringe worthy moment of like, ooh, okay, these are grown adults singing this song about being children that they sang when they were children. But I think the song overall, yeah, I think it really captures. It's such a fun moment in the whole, in the whole series. It's such a fun moment, and definitely in that episode was a real kick to get to perform.
Now we're doing this chat for the Emmys, and I think maybe the show's best chance is actually for that original song.
Mhm.
But when they have you, who is a Grammy winner, even for songwriting, like how do they not get you to write something for the show?
I would love to write something for the show. They had already written this, though. They had already written this song beforehand, and did a fantastic job. I mean, as writers, I was really blown away that they had, been in the writing room as script writers and were coming up with music. I was really blown away at their capacity for that in terms of the lyrics, which also implies the melody as well. So yeah, as a musician, I was highly impressed, but would love to obviously join them in any way. And especially now that I know and am more familiar with and more intimate with the character after embodying her for a while. I think I think that would be really fun to get to do.
I talked to Danny McBride a couple weeks ago, and he said that they're trying to do a Christmas special now. Do you have any involvement in that?
I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know. Yeah, I know he was saying that it was up in the air as to whether or not it would be able to happen or to win. But yeah, it would be fun. But I don't know. I don't know how it's been written or if Amy Lee would be a part of it or not.
What about for season two and also the larger story going forward? Because this show apparently has, a multi-season kind of epic plan. I'm
Mhm.
wondering how, Amy Lee figures into that.
I don't know yet. I was waiting, just like everybody else. I know that she does, and I was waiting to get a schedule and get and get a script and get everything, and I haven't yet. So I'm still waiting. It'll be a surprise for me too.
And what else do you have on the go these days?
Oh my God. Well, it's interesting times, isn't it, Riley? Um, yeah, I'm doing a lot of writing um, right now in terms of music. I'm working on a musical, which has been super rewarding and such a fantastic escape because it's otherworldly. Um, yeah, and at the same time, still reading things. I have a production company, a TV and film production company that I'm working on a couple of projects right now that I'm excited about. One in particular, in its own southern way, I would say has some similarities, not a lot, but with Gemstones in the sense that it is a southern story. So yeah, be on the lookout for more to come in terms of TV and film and music.
Yeah, can I actually ask what that musical is about?
You cannot. You can ask, but I can't tell you. Not yet. It is about. I will say this. It is about um, a real, historical, marginal woman.
All right. Well, Jennifer, thanks so much for taking the time to chat. To our viewers, you can check out other interviews with people from the Righteous Gemstones on our YouTube channel and go to goldderby.com to make your own Emmy predictions.